I do not care about being the face of the NBA. KD or Harden can be. I want to be with my kids and my family. I want to win and enjoy the game. I want to be Giannis, the hard worker. Big Perk back in here with us. So Giannis doesn't care about being the face of the league. Who would you say is the current face of the NBA?
It's the guy that don't care about being the face of the league, and that's Giannis, right? He is the people's champ. He is the people's champ. Like, how can you not like Giannis? After listening to his post-game interviews and his interviews and how he's acting after he won the championship, he represents the NBA to the finest, right? He's very marketable. People love him. And by the way, he's pretty damn good at the game of basketball, and he hasn't even hit his prime. This is a guy that's going to get you 30 and 12 a night in his sleep. Right now, Giannis is the only guy, in my opinion, that you could actually go start a franchise with right now. You take Giannis, and he's going to get you 50-plus wins every season in the regular season right now for your franchise and have you in the place to contend for a title. We're talking about a guy who goes out there night in and night out, plays both ends of the floor, that's in great shape, takes great care of their body. Giannis is the face of the NBA.
So, whoa. I mean,
that's a lot.
Thank you, Christine.
That is
Thank
a lot.
you.
Me and Nick are in the studio looking at each other like, what is Perk?
He's the only one in the league that you can drop on any team, and he's going to get you 50 wins. No Kevin Durant, no, I'm sorry, Christine.
I'm going to take it back a little bit. Take it back a little bit, like a month or so ago, right?
Oh, what happened a month or so ago?
About a month or so ago. And like I said, Perk, you know I love you, so I would never want to make you look bad in any way. But we worked on plenty of shows together, and you have said that Giannis is not Batman. He is Robin. So, Robin, then, is that your face of the league?
Man.
No, but Christine, if you follow me close enough, once Giannis won the championship and Giannis delivered in great fashion, did you see me issue out a public apology to Giannis?
Yeah.
Did you miss that?
Did
you miss it? Because I did. Okay, because I did it. Because I did it. And look, listen, go ahead. Listen, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you look at Giannis' team, right, and you look at a guy like Chris Middleton, and you look at a guy like Drew Holiday, yes, they are all-star caliber players, but they're not superstars, right? They're not a guy like Anthony Davis. It's not a guy like James Harden or Kyrie Irving, right? So when you look at Giannis and you look at the load that he has to carry night in and night out, even before they got Drew Holiday, Giannis is a guy that is he got the durability. He's going to be there every night. He's not going to do load management. You could count on him to be there, and you could count on him to play every single game, every single possession, every single night. And on top of that, he's humble, and he has that great character. This is the perfect face for the NBA.
I think you made a great argument for why we should want Giannis to be the face of the league. But we don't get to decide that. We don't get to just name a face of the league. It's just kind of something that happens. It's about the name that you think of or the face that you think of when you say the NBA. If you go out on the street and find a common fan and you're like, hey, it's the NBA, name somebody. They're going to say LeBron James. Like, LeBron James is still the face of the league. He's the most marketable guy in the league. He's the guy that all of our stories are centered around. He's the guy that that Giannis is being compared to. Like, LeBron is the face of the league. And all the things you said about Giannis are true, except for that craziness about dropping him on any roster and he's going to get 50 wins. Everything else you said was true, and I'm on board with that. And Giannis may grow into the face of the league. But the reason why Christine made that point at the start of this about Robin is because being the face of the league is about growing in consistency. And so we all accept that you admitted that you were wrong and you know that he is Batman now. But even if he was ever in a place just a few months ago that you would consider him Robin, then he has not had the longevity to grow into being a face of the league. Well, and I understand that LeBron may be getting up in age, but it sure don't look like it, the way that he contributes and the way that we talk about it.
Well, it's a shame that I have to come on here and break down to both you and Christine, highly intelligent people of the basketball world and the sports analyst world, on why I was saying a Batman and Robin comparison between him and Chris Middleton is because before the finals, I was going back to Chris Middleton as being the closer when it mattered the most. Chris Middleton was the guy that was taking over the four quarters. He was looking like the Batman. But when Giannis took over the finals, obviously, you got to give respect. You got to give respect when respect is due because he dominated in great fashion. But when we talk about LeBron, listen, when we talk about LeBron James, and I know I look older, whatever the case may be, me and Bron came in the NBA at the same time. We was in the McDonald's All-American game at the same time. LeBron James is going on almost 2 decades of being in the NBA. LeBron James don't give a damn about being the face of the NBA. You need somebody else. This is why Russell Westbrook is going to the Lakers. You know why? Because LeBron knows, and it's okay. He's getting up in age. He's going into his 19th season. He don't want to be having to carry the load so much and being the primary ball handler. This is why the Lakers acquired Russell Westbrook, to come and take that pressure off of him. We're not saying that LeBron James is not going to go out there and average 20 points a night and maybe 6 assists along with 7 rebounds. He's just that talented. But when you talk about a guy, Giannis Antetokounmpo, that's only 26 years of age, Domonique, and has a resume longer than the holiday weekend, it's mind-boggling. We're talking about a back-to-back two-time MVP.
I'm with you. The point I'm making is I would love for Giannis to be the face of the league, but we don't get to decide that. LeBron James is the face of the league. It's like when you go to the movies. There is a guy or a woman that is the star. It's not up to anybody else. We don't get to decide who's the best actor in it. We don't get to decide why people go buy their tickets. People go buy their tickets, or theoretically, people watch basketball or care about basketball. They think about LeBron James. That's the point I'm making. I'm with you. The league should get behind marketing Giannis, but that takes time. They've been marketing LeBron since before LeBron was in the NBA, and he's been delivering every year that he was in the NBA. So he is still the face of the league until Giannis puts together several years like this, wins a few finals. Like, that's kind of when you become the face of the league. You win a few finals. That's what happens. You're finals MVP, then you become